Hey, I'm Lucy Rose and you're watching Toasted.
Sir, you're reading The Goldfinch.
I am, yeah. Yeah, my sister, she gives me all my recommendations. I just copy whatever she's reading, really. I sort of caught up. I wasn't a big reader at school, so I just feel like I've been playing catch up for the rest of my life, really.
Hey, and actually, a song on this record is based on a book you like, Nebraska, right?
Very good research, yeah. My Antonia by Willa Cather. It's a great book. It's an amazing book. I highly recommend it. But I think, yeah, that book really touched me. And then suddenly when we were in Nebraska driving through it, we didn't have a gig there, just driving through it and seeing the landscape and the countryside. So, yeah.
Would you write a book yourself?
No.
Why not?
I'm not very good with words, particularly, I don't think.
I'm sort of flabbergasted here because I think it's maybe more difficult to write a good lyric in a song that lasts for 3.5 minutes than to write a book.
Maybe. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm just winging it. Like, I'm just writing songs and putting certain words together to describe a certain way I feel. I don't think my lyrics are particularly complex. They're very simple. So maybe that's how I can get away with it. Most of the songs were named after cities on the second record. Everyone pretty much was named after places I'd been and where I'd started. A certain idea had sprung to my mind, even if I finished it at home, where that initial seedling came from was kind of the name of it. But then it got a bit confusing because no one really knew what song was what. There was names which had no relevance particularly to any of the music, and it got a bit confusing for everybody. So a couple stayed: Cologne, Sheffield and Nebraska, and the rest got ditched.
Everybody tells me it's easy to write your first album because you have your whole life to write your first album. It's a devil to write the second album because you only have 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, I guess that's if that's the weird thing. I don't feel like that was the case because I think I had as long to write my second one as I did my first. Like you said, I had 3 years, as in the day my first record finished. I started writing the second one literally the day after. I want to be a songwriter. That's what I want in life. I don't want this journey to end. I write songs purely for me, really, and for my own well-being and to feel any sort of purpose that I can create in life is probably through songwriting. The rest of the time I feel like a real waste of space. I think I find it more so sometimes embarrassing, as in I put it all out there, and when I'm doing it, it feels great. If I'm in that, whatever that place is, where you're capable of finding something that you're not even quite aware of, and bringing it out of you, and then you understand yourself slightly better, that's a really amazing and kind of magical thing that can happen. For me, it's then playing that song to the first person that hears it. I feel like they are having a piece of me which, in normal circumstances, if we went for a coffee or a drink, I'd never ever divulge this sort of information about myself. It is a weird situation, especially if people say, what's a certain song about? It's like I've kind of decided this is how much I'm willing to give away, and I feel like it's everything, but to be able to just talk about it and look someone in the eye and talk about it is virtually impossible sometimes. When you're going through life at a certain point and it's all on that one level of fine, when there's no particular mad ups or mad downs, but life's just like plateauing at a certain level, that's for me the worst, because I got just going to sing about how okay my life is. Like, my life's been pretty fine the last few weeks. Yeah, exactly. No one's interested in that. It's like that point is very difficult. You feel like there's nothing to give at that point. Like I said about the days at home when you feel like there's no purpose. On tour, you have a huge amount of purpose. You've got a show to play every evening, and for me, that gives every day a reason. I don't know, I feel like there's always an inner guilt. Anyone who's creative will always hold with them that you should be creating, and this is what you want to do, and you've been given an opportunity to have this amazing life where you get to make music, and the days you don't do anything, I feel there's a huge amount of guilt that you take on. It's like there's a very famous author who said at like 82, I'm not going to write another book, this is my last book and I'm not going to do one. And everyone just thought, of course he's going to write one, he's been writing all his life, he's definitely going to do it. And his manager said, no, I really don't think he is, because the sense of relief he had when he made a decision that I'm not going to create anymore and I'm going to enjoy my life, I think that's a place where you can get at a certain point But I'm not at that point where I've finished creating, or I've created anywhere near what I feel like I can, hopefully one day. So as soon as I have that in me, I feel like I've got a constant burden of having to do that, and when I don't, a constant guilt that I should have done more with my day. And like lots of bands, you're searching for that song or that collection of songs which can stand the test of time. And I love both my records, but I really, truly hope that I have more. And I feel like I'm looking for more. So
would you stop if you wrote the ultimate song?
That would be great. I don't know if I don't know if I'd stop, but there's something to say that there is something good about stopping at the right time, maybe, as an artist, and picking your moment to say, to look back on it all. I think there's a certain point in your life where you're always looking forward, and then I think there is a crossover time where it's actually probably healthy to start looking back at what you've done and what you've lived through.
You wrote the song together with a fan, right? Was it a girl who really, or how does that work?
That didn't happen. That's great. I wish she actually has no idea I wrote this song about her.
Really?
I've never done a co-write. This second record, yeah, it was all written by me. But that song was 100% inspired by. There's a girl. I think she doesn't know it's about her, but she kept coming to my gigs, and she'd often come on her own sometimes, and uber friendly, smiley, full of, those people you meet that are just bright, and one of those people. And then she wrote me a very long letter, and it was actually really sad, and it was this really sad letter which made me really emotional, and it was explaining of all the difficulties that each person goes through that we're all very unaware of, and you probably don't talk to anyone about, and you just sometimes struggle through on your own. And hers was particularly about going to university, and I know what that could feel like. I didn't go to uni, but I don't think I would have particularly fit in to a lot of universities. The going out in your short dresses, your high heels, with all your makeup on, and getting so drunk that you're all being sick in the same bin. I'm not saying that's what university's like, but there was like a few that I went to where I felt like I would have struggled to make friends in some ways. And I think everyone sometimes fits a certain mould which is accepted at a certain place, and you become survival techniques and things like that. I could be talking complete rubbish, I think I am.
No.
And
Total sense.
she really struggled at university with that part of it, and she really enjoyed school, and she came to one of my gigs on her own, and she said this one gig was like a particular epiphany where she came on her own, and she said it was the first time from start to finish she'd felt like she'd smiled, really truly felt happiness. And it was that decision where she decided to make a change in her life and quit university and go and do something else. And I think it was very emotional for me that this person that I'd met, who'd brought me so much happiness every time I met them, my music could have affected them in such a positive way. Is obviously, for me, that's all I would ever want to achieve with music, and I don't really care about the critics or anything. I can just concentrate on the people that I've affected, that I actually care. So
will you tell her?
I don't know if I'll tell her. I probably won't, no.